Hi, this is our 2D elements lecture. This is to correspond with the reading that is posted here on Canvas. So we're going to get started. We're going to look at a few different forms, and this is going to help inform your 2D design exercise and will be a fun way to kind of think about how to express these ideas, these simple ideas, in both Photoshop and Illustrator. So a line is simply a path between 2 points. It could be many marks. They could be made by pen, pencil, paintbrush. It could be thread. It could be a ceramic rope. It could be so many different things. It could be implied objects, zigzag, any sort of different type of treatment. It's not always a straight line. It can have curves, arcs, varied directions with it as well. So lines can convey emotion, direction. They can vary in length and width. Typically, it leads our eye from one point to another. Get some nice implied lines over here. And it gives us a guide point of where we should be looking. We kind of follow the line, whether it's actually there or implied, and that leads our eye throughout the composition. Shape. So a shape is an enclosed area within a line, an area filled with a solid color, texture. So there's geometric shapes with sort of crisp, precise edges. There are mathematical curves involved. And a shape doesn't have to be solid. It could also just be, again, filled in with a texture or implied. And sometimes shapes are organic, which are unpredictable. They're from nature. They're more difficult to be reproduced mathematically. So there's non-objective and non-representational shapes, which could be like circles, rectangles, squares. These are pure forms, and they're without direct reference to reality. So these things exist in more of a mathematical space, more geometric in nature. And then there's representational shapes, which are derived from specific subject matter. So often these come from direct observation. These could also be within photographs. This is directly representational because of the shape that this object was presented when it was torn and then stitched together. So we're directly referencing that physical shape within this physical manifestation. And then there's abstract shapes, and these are derived from visual reality. So they're distilled, transformed forms that may have a reference from its original source or not. They're layered and then they're complex. So there's texture. So there's variations within a surface between physical and visual. And visual texture could be stippling, overlapping, varied opacity, added marks, brushes. And since we don't really deal too much with physical because this is a 2D class and also in a digital space, we're looking at visual texture. So even if we have a physical photograph, we're thinking about the visual texture because it's flattened here on our screen. You can make texture from, think about the illusion of how to make something appear to have a surface. I very want to touch this piece, but knowing it's very flat. Condensing forms together or allowing space. It can also be done not just black and white. So there's value. So it's the lightness and darkness of a surface. So I want to pull up this value scale, which you may have done in your drawing classes within here at Phoenix College or previously. So there's a contrast between the lightness into the darkness and all the shades between. It's typically done with between black and white. It could also be done with many different hues. So value, they are the contrast, the distribution, the arrangement of lights and darks. So if we look at a photograph, we have this nice value of the highlights. Again, if you photography people will get this, the highlights of the lights that are almost kind of blown out. And then the darkness of the dark values over here and where it kind of meets together. Value is a lot of playing with light. And think about the value that a picture can be created with. And else can be done with color. A lot of people forget that. Color has value. So I hope some of these ideas, along with the reading, will help inform your 2D design exercise.